And my name is Angelica Simaki.
So today we are going to talk about
Nativization!
Okay. So this is the process of changing something from a foreign culture into something more local, so people here can understand and enjoy it better. Okay, next. Okay, next. What is nativization? So basically, nativization is not just translation. It's about adapting things like food, stories, or media to match our culture, habit, and language. With something like what is nativization? So basically, nativization is not just translation. It's about adapting things like food, stories, or media to match our culture, habit, and language. We change things like the product itself, the names, the places, and even the social situation. The goal to make the foreign content feel natural and familiar to the local audience. And nativization is the process of adapting global content into local contents. This means we don't just translate the language, but we also adjust the cultural elements such as the people, the food, the location, and the values to match our culture. The goal is to make something that feels foreign become more familiar and meaningful to the local people. Why is nativization important? Nativization is important because it helps bridge cultural differences. When we make it something more local, people can understand it more easily. It makes the message feel closer to home and more relevant to the audience. That's why nativization is often used in education, entertainment, and marketing. So next, my friend will show you guys the example of nativization.
Alright, thank you for the opportunity to stand me right here and explain about what text that we have nativized. So I have the first text that we have already nativized. So it's titled Sweet Cheese that were nativized to Indonesian chocolate because we are more familiar with chocolate like cocoa beans rather than Swiss cheese. So we changed Swiss to Indonesian and cheese to cocoa beans or chocolates. So the original context is Swiss cheese industry and export challenges. Famous Swiss cheese like Gruyere and Emmental, Swiss cheese consumption culture. The device context is Indonesian cocoa industry and chocolate production, local chocolate products and consumption, cultural connection to chocolate snacks like fish chop and martabak manis coklat. Next. Alright, so this is the original text that we get from BBC Learning English in the speed reading section. I mean the part of speed reading in the link of BBC Learning English. We can see right here next. Alright, in the original text that we see the Switzerland, 1990s market openings, this dairy association, Swiss info website, Lena Fischer, which is familiar with name of foreign people, and England, French, or Venezuela, that means it's not familiar with us in Indonesia. I mean, it's foreign in a Europe city, Europe place like that, and we nativized it to Indonesia. Early 20th market opening, Indonesian Cocoa Association, Jakarta Food Insight website, Lina Pratiwi as the former, Ghana, Ecuador, or Belgium. So it makes the text is more familiar to readers from Indonesia, especially for students that we showed the text. Next. Right. The contextual class cooperation is I have explained the detail before, but yeah, you can see right here. Swiss cheese is not a bite to Indonesian chocolate. Cheese is a cocoa beans, chocolate products, milk products, and then the hobby of the products or consumer per person in the city. And then founders of fried cheese balls like to fish chop, martabak manis coklat, almond coklat, and yeah, you can see the table right here is make it easier to see what the difference of the two of the texts. Next. So yeah, after we nativize it to Indonesian familiar readers, it's more easier to readers to understand and familiar with all of the text, like and make us easier to understand the text, and then student would be like the text anyway. Alright, I think that's all for the explanation about our first nativization version of our text in the first text. I think my friend would explain about the second text that we have nativized.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Dylan Yo Pratama, and I will explain about our second nativization text. Next. Yeah, this is I will talk about how we change surströmming text into our local culture in Chalo. So this is surströmming, a fermented dish from Sweden, made from Baltic herring fish, and we try to nativize this text into our local culture and then more familiar. And yeah, we choose Cencalo, West Kalimantan condiment to as a result that from surströmming text. Next. Okay, so I will explain about original context. So, surströmming is a traditional Swedish dish made from fermented Baltic herring. And we try to nativize this point into West Kalimantan condiment made from fermented shrimp or cencalo. And then second, surströmming eaten often in outdoors paired with tanbrot and beer. Which are because we unfamiliar about tanbrot and beer, we try to change and adapt it and become eaten at home or warung, mix it with chili, lime, and paired with rice because we are Indonesian people. And then in next point, in surströmming, seasonal food celebrated during surströmming premiere in August. Surströmming premiere is festival that use surströmming as a main menu in August in Sweden country. And we try to nativize this point into common during shrimp harvest served year-round in family gathering. So we don't need a special moment, we don't need special moment to eat cencalo. We can eat cencalo every day. Next. Yeah, this is unfamiliar text that we got from Travel Sweden website. Next. And this is our result of our nativization project, shrimp, fermented shrimp or chinchalo as a nativization of surströmming dish. Next. Okay, in textual cues comparison, we got first fermented herring, and we try to change it into fermented shrimp, and then small Baltic herring as the main composition from surströmming become a small shrimp, and then rodent fish we change to rodent shrimp because chinchalo used shrimp as the main composition. And then rounded yet piquant with a distinct acidity, we change into savory yet tangy with a distinct acidity. It's about how surströmming smell and chinchalo smell. And then Tenstoppet, Sturhorf, and Nut in Stockholm is a location that Swedish people often eat surströmming, and we change to rumah makan Melayu, warung Kubu, and warung pelabuhan in Kubu Raya agencies. Next. Cues comparison. In the first point, traditional dish from northern Sweden, we change to traditional condiment from West Kalimantan because the chinchalo is more familiar in West Kalimantan in Malay society. And first during the 9th century, when Sweden has had a salt shortage, we changed to has been prepared from by Malay communities for generations. So there is no specific date where chinchalo has founded. So we changed to prepare by Malay communities for generation by generation. And to make surströmming, Sweden people use tin, but to make chinchalo, we use containers, bottles, or jugs to ferment that small shrimp. And storing, as the Swedes refer to it, storing is a process when you put Baltic herrings and mix with other composition. We change to peram, as the local refer to it. And then specific premiere date, third Thursday of August, when people do surströmming festival. We change to enjoy year round, but is especially popular during festive occasions. Okay, next. Okay, that is our second notification text about change surströmming text from chinchalo from surströmming text into chinchalo text to localize that unfamiliar text. Okay, thank you.
Okay, the third example is from film industry. We have Top Gun Maverick. We notifies to Agak Lain movie from Indonesia. So the original context is Hollywood blockbuster with Tom Cruise, action film about a U.S. Navy pilot, box office success measured in dollars. And we notifies context to Indonesian comedy horror film, local comedians from Medan, success measured in fewer numbers rather than dollars. So, like I told before, Top Gun Maverick is an American blockbuster starring Tom Cruise. We have the original context. But what is Indonesian box office report, Indonesian latest blockbuster film has broken box office record across the country. So there is the textual cues comparison. As we know, the textual cues are the words, names, or reference that appear directly in the text. Like we have here is the original Top Gun Maverick. We have Tom Cruise. The title of the movies is Top Gun Maverick, and we have varieties for the magazine, Paramount Production Company, and the Telegraph, the Independent. And when it applies to Agak Lain movies, the actor we choose Benedian, and the title is Agak Lain. The magazine filmindonesian.or.id, and the production company Imaginary, and the Compass Universe. And the contextual cues refer to the background, culture, habits, social norms, or environments behind the text. Like we have here is from the original Top Gun Maverick, we have action blockbuster as a genre, and 156 million box office, US Navy pilot, fighter jets, summer blockbuster, and notifies to Agak Lain, comedy horror film as a genre, 9 million viewers, Melanese comedians, Ghost in Haunted House attraction, and early year local release. So the contextual cues comparison procure deeper understanding of what the context means in a cultural or social setting. They are not always stated directly, but they shape how the context is understood. So when this concept is adapted into an Indonesian context, it becomes Agak Lain, a comedy horror movie about our four Melanese comedians working in a haunted house attraction. Everything, the actors are different, the genre changes, and even the success is measured differently. In the original box office is counted in dollars, and Agak Lain reached over 9 million local viewers. I think that's it from the last example.
So this is the comparison of all the example. There is the three different adaptation approaches. Okay, first is complete pronunciation, Swiss cheese to Indonesian chocolate. Entirely different product category, premium positioning maintained. Second, ingredient based adaptation, fermented herring to chinchalo. It has same process, local ingredients, and this is the sensational preparation method process. And the last example is narrative transformation from Top Gun Maverick to Agak Lain. They have the same core themes maintained, content cultural, content safe. Okay. What makes nativization successful? For nativization to work, there are few important elements. First, you need culturally anchoring. This means keeping the core message or value, but adapting the cultural reference. Second is the language must sound natural, not just a word-for-word translation. Third, the social context so reflect local tradition and custom. And finally, the location shall be changed to familiar Indonesian places, not foreign ones. To conclude, lingvisation is not just about translation. It's about transforming something foreign into something that feels local, relatable, and relevant. Nativization helps us bring global content into our local culture in a way that feels natural. It's not just about changing the language, it's about changing the experience. So, this is the end of our presentation.
Thank you for the attention and listening to our presentation.